Hi, Maryam. How are you?
I'm good, thanks on yourself, Siddharth.
I'm fine, thanks. And yourself? Okay, my first question to you is please tell me about your journey to media, personality, fashion, lifestyle, food, and also, and on top of all of that, you was also entrepreneur, published author, as well as a mom. It's quite a journey you've actually been on.
Yes, I mean, someone would say that they wear many hats. And my journey started in the media that start there.
Oh,
It started more than 8 years ago. Um, I started at a community radio station, and I worked my way from there. From the community radio station, I got into TV broadcasting. Um, I present on the show called Anur the Light, which is on SABC3. It's an Islamic magazine show. And from there, I went on to the audiovisual humanitarian journalism platform called Salam Media, where I presented the mid morning show from 2019. Yeah, from 2019. As for being a mom, well, that comes along the way. That's not
mm,
something that you can decide. Okay, that
of
that's
course.
that's that's something that comes
Yeah.
along the way, and it's another hat that you just happen to wear and you stumble
Mm,
across in life. An entrepreneur is something that I've always wanted to do. I remember I was one of those kids who would sell sweets, etc., in class, to my classmates and be like, "Oh,
oh,
need a snack? I got you. You need a pen? I got you." So I was one of those people who would always have something to sell to my peers in class. And that's how my entrepreneurship journey started. But throughout the years, I've noticed that there was a gap when it comes to modest fashion and modest wear. And I decided to fill that gap by adding items that I found were not available and that I found were something that was needed in the community. And that's when I came up with Memes the brand. And Memes the brand caters to anyone who is interested in modest wear fashion. It's not for Muslim women per se, because we have seen how the modest fashion industry has evolved throughout the years with the likes of Dolce and Gabbana even having modest wear on the runway. So I'm glad that has happened, and it has opened the platform for modest wear designers like myself. And fashion designing is something that I've also always wanted to do, even though that has kind of taken a back foot or a rest for a bit. But soon I'd like to get back into the fashion industry.
oh, I don't think you mentioned about the published author.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Being a published author, that came with having my firstborn, my daughter. Uh,
Oh,
I was contacted by a lady called Victorine Bongshu, and she asked me if I would like to be part of the book titled Motherhood Honesty, which is a collection of stories, poems, and articles. It's a collaboration between 27 women from three different countries. So I thought, okay, why not? Let's see how this is going to work out for me. And lo and behold, I wrote an article about my daughter. It's titled Surviving Toddlerism, because when I wrote it, she was a toddler. And if anyone has a toddler, they will know that it is quite a challenge. And yeah, it's quite a challenge. And surviving it is good luck surviving toddlerism or toddlers. So I wrote it, and she was right next to me when I wrote the article, and I submitted it. And it went well, and the book was published last year. Yes, last
mhm.
year the book was published, and that's when I became a published author just by writing an article about my daughter. And I thought, wow, that's great. I think I should continue with this journey of writing.
Mm,
But I've also always had writing in me. I'm a person who walks around with a notebook and a pen in my bag wherever I go. Even if I don't have one, I make use of those
mm,
notes on my phone, and I write. I'm all about writing. I
mm.
used to blog once upon a time. I even if it's not writing words and letters, it's just scribbling and doodling. But something that I have to do is have a pen or a pencil in my hand and a book, a notebook or a paper, and just write. Do something about writing. I've also been part of an organization and doing the articles, their brochures, etc., and the other advertising material. But I won't mention the names of the organizations, but that is something that I've done previously as well.
Who are the people that you look up to in media, fashion, entrepreneurship, and authors?
Mm, wow. When it comes to the media, I've always looked up to the women who do investigative journalism. You know, the Devi Sankri Govender, the Deborah Patta, and those are the women who are always on the forefront. And they're like a pit bull. When once they grab hold, they are not letting go. And I was like
Hmm.
inspired by them, and I'm like, that is something that I'd like to do as well. And I look up to those women. I also look up to Redi Tabi and Ferial Hafiji as well. Those are some of the women in media, local. International, we have the women who are covering the situation that is currently happening in Gaza right now. We have
Hmm.
Yumna, Yumna, uh, what's her? I forgot her last name, but we have Yumna Al Said. We also have Bisan. We have I just lost their names right now, but I remember having written them because I'm like, these are very brave women who are on the
Hmm.
forefront, sacrificing their lives just to bring news to us so that we can see what is really happening on the ground. And salute to not just those women, but all the men and everyone in the media who are uh, giving up their lives just to do that. When it comes to fashion, wow, there are a lot of modest fashion influencers out there. And locally, there's a lady called Zia Gomede. She's a designer, she's a model, she's a fashionista, and she's someone that I look up to as a modest wear fashion designer. And Internationally, there's a lady called Aisha Haroon. She is a Canadian and Ethiopian, also someone who is very fashion forward, very fashion focused, but also in terms of lifestyle. And when the term influencers came about, who knew that it would become this big thing as it is today, where people just show you how they live their lives, and then all of a sudden it's like it's out there in your face and something that a lot of people want to do. And she is someone who I look up to. I look at her, and I'm not saying that I emulate and I want to live her life and like, but when I see that she's comfortable in her skin, she's
Hmm.
proud to be a Black Muslim woman, and I admire
Hmm.
her for that and for her resilience and her perseverance that she continues to push and move forward despite the challenges that we're currently facing. When it comes to entrepreneurship, wow, this is another wow, but there's so many women in South Africa, the likes of Batisana Kumalo, the likes of Bonang Mateba, who's also a media mogul. Um, there's Busi Selesho, who's also an author. And these are women who are out there, who are breaking barriers, who are doing things for themselves. Um, we say FUBU, by for us, by us, and it's really inspiring to see their journeys and how they started and where they have where that has taken them today. There's also a lady, I forgot her name, but she's the lady who came up with the idea of the Wonder Bag. She's also brilliant. I mean, you come up with such a concept, and it's a wow. And when it comes to authors, I have my fellow authors who also contributed to the book Motherhood Honesty, one of them being Pumelele Sakina Dulamo. She is an author as well. Victorine Bongshu is an author as well as a publisher and editor. Nadine Gordimer, I grew up reading Nadine Gordimer books back in school, and I just kind of ran with that as well. R.L. Stein has also been one of my favorites, especially with the Goosebumps series. Um, yeah, that so far those are the ones that I can think of at the top of my head. I know there are
Sure.
quite there's
Yeah,
still
yeah,
more, but those are the
yeah, yeah.
ones that I can think of at the moment.
Okay. So, what have been the highs in the space that you've been in so far? What have been your high moments?
Wow. I remember once having the opportunity to host an international author. Yes, she's one of the other authors that I've read her books, Zakia from the United States of America, and I hosted her along with other people that she came with, and that was another highlight in my career. Also having to cover the elections back in 2019 and having the opportunity to interview the likes of Helen Ziller,
Oh,
um, the late Yasmin Duarte, um, Kenny Kunene, the Herman Mashaba, and all of those
oh,
people having the opportunity to interview them was a highlight in my career. And there are so many highs. There are so many highs, and I'm grateful for the opportunity and having to interact with people that other people look up to, and also to you know get some words of wisdom from them and get to be on the ground and hear it from, as they say, the horse's mouth.
any low moments?
The lows, the lows is being in this industry alone as a covered Muslim woman. I know there
Okay.
are women out there, Muslim women, who don't cover, so it's easy to sort of like get into the industry. But for me, being a covered Muslim woman and breaking into the industry itself is quite a challenge. And you're sort of like only limited or closed to the places that you can go to, especially if it's in broadcast media. If it's print media, well, that is simple because nobody gets to see what you are wearing and what you actually look
Hmm.
like. But it's the broadcast media where people need to see you, and you need to have a certain look that would sort of be that would sort of make people comfortable seeing, because I know on our screens this is not a face that we get to see very often, covered a covered Muslim woman. But I'm really hopeful that going forward this can be something that people are familiar with, because we are unique, we are different, and we are diverse, and we are a rainbow nation for a reason.
So, what are your future plans for this year and beyond?
Well, I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes work in terms of producing certain shows on Salam Media. And
Okay.
I'm happy to continue my journey in production and producing other shows. I have also co produced Spill the Chai RSA with my friend, and we are four ladies, and this is a podcast that we do every month. We come together and we discuss a trending topic, or rather, a topic that needs to be spoken of. So, I want to continue with the Spill the Chai. It's also on the StreamYard, and perhaps we can take that to bigger heights as well. Um, in the future, going forward, what I'd like to do is have a book about my life written. It is something that I'm currently working on, so hopefully I can get that published and out there, as well as do some children's books. I've been encouraging my nieces, etc., to write books on what they would like to read. So I'd like to see that being something which is published out there as well. And yeah, like I said, more behind the scenes work, documentaries, copywriting, script writing, etc.
Okay, finally, what are your words of inspiration for people that want to get into the spaces that you're in?
Well, first of all, you need to know what you want to do. When it comes to
Mm,
media, you need to have a niche. You need to have
mm,
what we were taught a nose for media. These days, you just see people out there and they share whatever they want to, whether it's true or it's not. And most of the time, it's not. You need to verify your news and your sources. So if you want to be in the media spaces, you need to be passionate about media, first of all. And with the smartphone and the technology and how it has evolved, the smartphone itself can be used to create media. It's something that can get you out there. I mean, as it
mm,
is right now, I'm using my smartphone on this platform, and as we've seen with the rise of influencers as well, people use their smartphones to get a message across. So don't look at
mm,
it as it's just a tool to take pictures and to scroll on social media. No, it is bigger than that. So use your smartphones to capture moments, to capture stories, and to share it with people across the board. Um, I know that sometimes you feel doubtful that this is probably not something that you want to do. Just don't let that doubt speak you out of trying. You won't know unless you try. And if you feel like this is just too much for you, then it's okay to take a break. It's okay to slow down, take a break, and regather, refocus, recenter, and come back to it. And you can come back strong. um, but whatever you do in life, don't give up and always make sure that you start, because if you don't start, you will never know where you could have
mm.
been.
Thanks so much for giving me your time and regarding what you had mentioned about the books you were planning to bring, and hopefully we can have a chat regarding that in the future.
Yes, that would be great.
Okay, thanks so much, and God bless.
Thank you.